My name is Jason, and I'm here to bring you some very disturbing news that I've been hearing from certain sources that I have in the media. Like, not to say that I'm well connected or anything. I'm just 20 years old. Grew up in Austin, in the ghetto. No, but I've had a relatively good life, considering. But anyway, enough about me. What I'm going to start off is something called Operation Northwoods. Now, I'm reading from Wikipedia here. So let me just let it load real quick, and we can begin. Alright, it says, Operation Northwoods was a false flag plan that originated within the United States government in 1962. The plan called for Central Intelligence Agency or other operatives to commit genuine acts of terrorism in the U.S. cities and elsewhere. These acts of terrorism were to be blamed on Cuba in order to create public support for a war against that nation, which had recently become communist under Fidel Castro. One part of the Operation Northwoods plan was to develop a communist Cuban terror campaign in the Miami area, in other Florida cities, and even in Washington. Operation Northwoods included proposals for hijackings and bombings, followed by the introduction of phony evidence that would implicate the Cuban government. The plan stated the desired resultant from the execution of this plan would be to place the United States in the apparent position of suffering defensible grievances from a rash and irresponsible government of Cuba, and to develop an international image of a Cuban threat to peace in the Western Hemisphere. Several other proposals were included within the Operation Northwoods plan, including real or simulated actions against various U.S. military and civilian targets. The plan was drafted by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, signed by Chairman Lyman Lemnitzer, and sent to the Secretary of Defense. Although part of the U.S. government's Cuban Project anti-communist initiative, Operation Northwoods was never officially accepted, and the proposals included in the plan were never executed. Now, you just heard Operation Northwoods, and I just explained to you what it was. And let me go back to this real quick and read it to you again. Operation Northwoods included proposals for hijackings and bombings, followed by the introduction of phony evidence that would implicate the Cuban government. Now, let me just change something real quick. It's not a big change, it's a small change. Operation Northwoods included proposals for hijackings and bombings, followed by the introduction of phony evidence that would implicate the Iraqi and Afghanistan government. Now, doesn't that sound like exactly what happened on September 11th? Something to think about. Well, September 11th was horrible. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the irony of just changing 2 words in that one statement. Now everything becomes clear. So, I'm going to let you sit on that for a little while. I'll be back later with some more info.